Okay, David, this is a little demonstration of the changes that I've made in the trailer here. This is the first one. You might remember there was a counter of the same size, but there was a sink right here and then a two-burner LP stove right here. And so it left less than 15% of the surface area that you could set anything on. And to me, that was a waste of space. And so I cut this piece of plywood and I put polyurethane on the surface, and to make it basically waterproof. And polyurethane meaning it has a solvent in it. It's very smelly when you paint it on, but that solvent would flash off, and therefore, if we put anything wet on here, it's not going to stain it. You would find lacquers would stain very easily because they're not waterproof in the sense that they will absorb the water and leave a white stain. So this is a pretty stain-proof, pretty rugged, tough surface. This is the first change, the quickest to do, and I just put in our attic the original counter with the sink and the two-burner stove. And so if we ever choose to want to sell the trailer, someday I'm sure we will, I've got the ability to restore it like it was originally new. So that's one change. I built this cabinet right here. It's got a hinge on the back, and it's provided storage. We're going to chiefly keep gallon bottles of water, probably 4, and food that's not refrigerated, and other odds and ends inside this cabinet. And the purpose of this cabinet is the storage, and then it also becomes a wider bench that I can sit on. My height is such that if I sat where the manufacturer put the bench for the person on this side, my head would be inside this, and it's just not high enough. So this gives me a wider bench to sit on. I also organized a technique just with a bungee, just to keep it open so that when we're packing up the trailer, I can have both my hands free and be loading this thing up. And then when we're all done loading it, I can just take that part off and we're done. So I may make a foam pad for this to sit on, but I'm not unhappy just with the hard surface. I have enough fluff in my bottom to compensate, it seems. So that's change number 2. David, another change that I made was I put orange filters over the LED lights that are in here. And so without those orange filters, it's a very cold and blue light. In addition to the orange filters, I also put tissue paper to act as a filter to take away the sharp glare of the light. So the camera's not going to show this very well, but I've changed the color to be very orange in color, more like an incandescent light bulb, in contrast to the very blue color that it originally had. So I did this. There's a lamp here, and there's a lamp above the beds that's the same way, and I filtered that one the same way. That was quick to do. It was, and I've got this temporarily done. I may eventually add a shade that just comes straight down, just a shade, so you don't have a glare of light if you're laying in bed and somebody still wants to sit here. So that's change number 3. Okay, David, change number 4. I cut this piece of plywood out, and it just fits between the foam rubber of the mattress and this little wooden bulkhead. It's about 1/2 inch material. Anyway, you can see that I've got this spongy item on here that's been zip tied down. This is a insulation for plumbing pipe, and I have it held in just by this C-clamp. Oop, don't want to do that. There we go. So I have the C-clamp so that this lifts out. Now so far, I've not had any incentive to take it out, but we've not camped in this yet. The purpose of this is the surface that the other side comes down and rests on. The manufacturer put in this folding leg, which I didn't think it was a very nice idea. So now I have this. This is a much better surface, in my opinion, than the way they had arranged the solution. So that's change number 4. David, a 5th change I made was the addition of this stabilizer, and there you can see the other one on the other side. And these are located at the front of the trailer. The manufacturer didn't put them on the front, they only put them on the rear of the trailer. And so this lets me lift up the trailer, level it any way I want, and it's a more stable combination than the front jack that the manufacturer puts on the trailer. So I can just raise and lower this with a cordless electric drill, and it does fine. It's really done the trick. These are low cost. I got them from eBay, both of them for probably $75 combined, and they're way overkill. They're good for holding up more than 1,000 pounds each, and the entire trailer weighs 1,600 pounds. So, and we have 4 of them. So we've got 4,000 pound lifting capacity, lifting up 1,600 or 1,700 pounds. So this was a good addition. It was quick to put on. I just bored the holes in and used self-tapping bolts, and then they anchored this thing in quite well. So that was change number 5. David, the last change, which would be change number 6, is this device here. It's in the RV industry, it's referred to as a dog bone. It converts the big three prongs over to a standard 120 volt, 2 blades plus the ground line, which is the standard extension cord. The original cord this trailer comes with is this thick of a cable, and in colder weather it is a tough cable to coil up. It's in the way all the time. So I switched over to this lighter cable because the only power this trailer requires is, if we're plugged in, it's recharging the battery that's in the trailer, and it lets us run any electrical items without drawing battery power while we're plugged in. And we can run a little electric heater instead of the propane heater if we're plugged in. So it's not going to be used that much. So I went for a lighter weight cable to provide the source of power for this. And it plugs into any 120 volt outlet. So I don't have to have that special 120 volt 30 amp special plug that makes up the RV's power source configuration. So this was a $10 item from eBay, made in China. It might continue to work, we'll see. But if it doesn't work, it's an easy one to replace. So those are the changes that I've made on this, and Deborah and I are actually kind of enthusiastic to go winter camping now, and I think we will here soon. When, I'm not quite sure. Anyway, that's the changes we've made. Hope you like it.